Alright then. Hi everyone. I'm Donatello the Donkey, and today I'm speedrunning Skylanders Trapping for you all. My commentator on the couch, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Dragon28. I have run several games in the franchise. So does Don. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so, this isn't really what you would expect from a Skylanders speedrun.
It gets pretty crazy.
We're gonna start on easy mode because we like to play it easy, and I guess we'll just start the countdown now.
Yeah. Well, when fast prepared, of course.
Duke, you do the countdown.
Alright. Why do you want me to do the count? Alright, whatever. Right, so 3, 2, 1, go. Go, just go. Yeah, just go. Just right. When you want. Okay, whatever. 3, 2, 1, go.
Stream might be delayed for you. It's fine.
Yeah, stream is definitely delayed.
So, yeah, this is Skylanders Trapping. On our portal, we have Sickle, who is our villain, nicknamed Bangera in honor for the first ever speedrunner of this game. And here we have Boomjet, who is the fastest Swamp Force Skylander. So, Duke, if you could explain why we use these characters.
Alright, so this game has several large glitches involving the main gimmick of the game, which are the villains. Now we'll explain more about villains in a bit, but essentially there are several glitches that require villains to work, and one of those is a double jump exploit, which requires a Swap Force Skylander to work. So this is the 4th game in the Skylanders franchise. Swap Force became before this one. And for whatever reason, in this game, they have some weird properties that can let us do some very glitchy things. So here's our first double jump, that skips the puzzle. Here's our next double jump. This one's gonna be a little bit harder, but we go but you go out of bounds, and that actually skips a trigger for a villain fight. And again, I'll explain what villains are in a second. Some more double jumps over now around the puzzles, and then we'll just get a cutscene to explain. Oh no, sorry, there's a cutscene skip here by going around the collision, and then we go into here. Normally at this point, if you watch the cutscene, you start an enemy fight and have to fight all the enemies. You can see the gate over there, which shows that you need to defeat them. I'll explain that in a bit. But instead, we can just double jump out over that wall and hit the dash pad, or hit the dash, go over there, quick go around, and then we reach the next battle gate. Now these battle gates, they normally open when enemies are defeated, but you just double jump over them. They're not all of them. Some of them are a bit larger than that, and you can't double jump over them, or they require extra effort. But for the most part, that's how that works. Then one final double jump over. Then one final out of bounds exploit to skip another cutscene, and we approach the first Doom Raider. So Trap Team. The plot of Trap Team is that Chaos, the main antagonist of the series, has freed all of the Doom Raiders, as well as plenty of other villains who are supposed to be locked up in prison. He's freed them, and they have gone rampant around Skylands. So it's your job to find and capture them. But capturing most villains is actually pretty slow, because they have long cutscenes associated with them, and you actually have to fight them. So instead, we're just going to do skips around them. The second double jump in this level actually skipped a villain fight, Sheet Creep. And then you can't skip this one because the end of the trigger, or the end of level trigger, is associated with the cutscene, which is for killing this guy. But we don't actually fight this guy. We just have to feed him bad soda.
And yeah, and now I insert a water trap in the portal to skip a couple animations, and that's chapter 1.
Yeah. Alright, so I want to quickly, I've already mentioned both villains and enemies, and you may be thinking, oh, are they not the same thing? But no. So in this game, and like the entire franchise, of course you have regular enemies, minions of Chaos, or the Doom Raiders, or just general people who are hostile to the Skylanders. But then there's villains who are like the mini bosses / boss fights of this game, and they are the ones who are supposed to be trapped. So yeah, minimizing villain fights is quite an important thing in any villain. Like when we say that, oh, it skipped a villain fight, like don't just think that's a small thing. Like, oh, it's not like a 5-second optimization. These can be like minute or so, like 30-second to a minute optimizations each. So there's a quick hub movement, and then we can get into the second level of the game, where we can go a little bit slower. The first level has a lot of skips back to back, so it's kind of hard to commentate everything. But to begin with, yeah.
Oh, nice glitch. Everything just seems fine.
Nice.
We're good, we're good. So here
Right,
I'm gonna double jump over this key gate
I was-
and trigger a cutscene.
I've been watching
double
like-
jumping over that key gate doesn't save much time, but you do it either way. And here, we're here for those guys who talk to us, but we're not gonna talk to any of them. Now I'm gonna double jump over this keyhole and attack a couple enemies up here.
I've been really delayed the entire time, so this level 1 stuff was a bit off. So yeah, now I should be on a little bit less delay, so I can explain everything a bit better. But mostly what it is, like, you just have to think a few seconds back, I believe anyway. Anyways, yeah, just normal fighting stuff, so standard enemies stuff, just go kill them. There are several types of things that can be unlocked when you defeat enemies. Gates can usually be jumped over and don't really cause any issues, but then there's also cutscene things like this one, and there's also bounce pads, which are usually a lot harder to skip. Not impossible, but a lot harder. So now we get our first few physics objects. They're not that special. They are just physics objects after all.
Yeah, the first boulder is not as hard as the second one.
Sounds
I
about
wish we
right.
could skip it.
Yes, it would be very nice to skip. Massive.
As you can see, I am messing up the second one quite a bit. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
These things are kind of hard to, these things are definitely hard to push.
Oh no, Skylanders!
Then we get our first turret section. This one's just an introductory turret. But yeah. So then we get into really what this game, a lot of what this game has in terms of villains, which is large arena-ish fights. This one's not really an arena fight, but there's definitely a lot of enemies to defeat. And because of how this game works, he's actually invulnerable until we're allowed to attack him. So, you know, and by allowed to attack him, I mean when his health bar appears. So at the moment we can't actually kill him, so we have to get rid of some enemies instead. Those ships can have damage as normal, so you can just deal damage to the ship and the enemies won't jump down, saves a little time. I should also quickly mention that yes, we're on easy because of course everything has less health and does less damage. Anyway, so I will quickly mention that we'll be swapping the villain that we use quite regularly, the trapped villain that we use regularly, depending on when we need it. So Hood Sickle is good for skips, Chaos is good for damage.
Here comes the headman. I reap what I sow.
They also work very different in terms of health. So a normal Skylander has, as you can see, just has a regular health bar, and if that reaches 0, then Skylander dies. But villains have a time system. So the time system time of villains naturally depletes, and it also will go down further when you take damage, and you can keep using the villain until the time runs out, and then you have to let them rest. Fairly simple. So yeah.
I just wanted to let everyone know, the reason we didn't just double jump over the gate right then and there was because if we entered the cannon, which we can, before defeating all the enemies, we would soft launch. So I did have to defeat all the enemies, and then I could double jump over that battle gate.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's of course a lot of places where you need to spawn certain things in, otherwise the game will soft lock, and you'll see it quite regularly. But a lot of the time, just jumping over like some castle gates it won't matter because everything's already spawned in.
So up next is probably one of the hardest chapters of the run. Yep. The third chapter.
The third chapter's
There are 18
hard.
chapters, just keep in mind.
Yes.
So, we're barely into the run. Well, I mean, we're about to get into the run.
I mean, remember, and like, the second half of the run is definitely the longest part. We'll reach halfway before the hour mark, assuming everything goes well. So far, it's pretty decent though. Alright, so here we're going to attempt what's known as a Hood Sickle dash. So Hood Sickle has a dash attack, and by interrupting that attack with a swap, then you can gain a lot of distance. So once we're in this wall, we need Chill Bill, as Chill Bill has a bit of a weird funky glitch that can let us gain a lot of height, which we actually need to get back onto the ground. But it only gains he gains more height when you're underneath the ground. Hopefully it's up, and nice. So that skips an awful lot of the level. So this level, you have to rescue Mabu, who get themselves trapped, Then you have to go around, spin coils to open the door, as well as wait for large cutscenes and enemy fights. So yeah, a lot of level skips. Also, a villain fight skipped, and a pretty long enemy section skipped as well. So yeah, huge skip.
And I also do a double jump off of the rock there earlier, and we went through the wall, which was cool. Now we're into the Chompy Mountain, which is the name of the chapter.
Yes.
Yeah, so technically there's like 6 minutes of gameplay until you actually get to the mountain, which is pretty fog.
But you know, we can just skip over that. That also went really well. Like getting the Sickle dash that quickly, and getting the chill build first try very quick.
So here I'm trying to match the cycle so I can interact with the cannon. I was trying to take out all 3 trolls with the cannon shot. But that first troll didn't seem to want to end its days soon.
By the way, in the top right, actually I'll explain 2 things. So the top right, the game currently doesn't know what's going on because we still haven't freed the Mabu from the start. These, by the way, we're rescuing the Mabu who got stuck at the beginning. Yeah, we never freed them and they got stuck again in a different part of the map. Because obviously we're not supposed to be here this early, so the game gets confused. Second of all, in the top left, you'll see a symbol. At the moment, that's the villain symbol, but that changes to any element. Skylanders, of course, they have different elements, and so certain Skylanders are given stronger bonuses in certain areas. It's completely set by the devs. But yeah, and it's not too much of an issue on easy mode, but it's something to watch out for. Is that we can deal more damage and get better rewards when we are considered stronger.
You don't mind if I wait right
Upcoming here is the boss fight of this level, which is actually a tribute to the game Skylanders Giants, which is the second game in the franchise. A lot of things are attributed to this game Skylanders Giants in this game Skylanders Trap Team, and you'll see some later on in the game as well.
Yep.
It is I,
Although this fight is massively redone from that, although the same patterns kind of remain.
Chompy Mage.
Let's rock! At last, here come the Chompies.
So the first phase of this fight is mostly just trying to get rid of these Chompies as quickly as possible. Chompies are the weakest enemy in the game, they only have 1 health. So we just have to defeat them quickly, and that should cycle on to the next phase.
So now we're actually supposed to fight the boss, but I'm just gonna double jump up to this platform and wait here. So,
It'll make
yeah,
it.
this is downtime, I guess.
Downtime, let's go.
Should probably
that'll be
explain
fun.
the tech attack glitch.
Yep, I'll let you.
I'll explain it. So, Chaos has 8 elemental attacks based off of the 8 elements. One of them heals your timer all the way up, which is the magic one, but we're using the tech one today. And if a hitbox goes through a tech attack, it will sometimes show like lots of numbers. For example, you see how I'm doing 468 damage. The tech glitch would be like, it shows 468 damage like every frame or something. It would just hit a bunch of 468 numbers. But in reality, you're probably doing nothing like that. I'm trying to get a good example, but it didn't seem like I got one. Anyways,
you got one at the beginning of the fight. Yeah, you got one at the beginning of the fight, so it's fine. That's not even the most damaging one. The Undead Trap is the most damaging one at 720 damage. By the way, the game is obviously very confused. On this data screen, if you skip an objective, it will still give you the first star, even though you didn't complete the objective, so it shouldn't have given you it.
Yes, and I think that only works for this game, if I'm not.
No, that's true in every single Skylanders game. We have objective skips in Spyro's Adventure, in Giants, and in Trap Team, and all 3 times it doesn't do that. The game doesn't want you to have 0-star completion. Although it works differently in every game, but yeah. Obviously the game doesn't intend you to do this. Anyway, so now we're into the Phoenix Sanctuary, which is mostly linear, but has a few skips, as you may expect from this game. The main gimmick of this level, though, at least the first part of this level, are these bridges that are formed when you put a nut into there. Because of how the collision works, that's a nice boost. Because of how the collision works, it basically creates the collision for the bridge immediately as soon as the nut's placed in, so you can get a boost into the cutscene. Because the cutscene is not skippable,
Yeah,
it
so
helps
safety
big.
frames, am I right?
Yep. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter that it's only a few frames. It's still frames. Actually, it's like a decent amount of time if you get a good one like that. Yeah, it's probably one of the best boosts I've ever seen.
Now here I'm struggling to get a double jump, so I'm just gonna do it the normal way. As you
That
can
is
see,
only
it doesn't
mild.
take
It's only
much time doing the double jump either, but yeah. That's my luck.
Yeah.
Skylanders of the tech element.
Mild optimization. Well, knowing this run, then we'll get all the skips. Yeah, we'll get the big Sickle dash in this level first try.
Oh, right. So yeah, this is also probably one of the harder chapters,
Yes.
just like the previous one. Now explain the shred not skip I'm about to do.
Alright, so this is a villain. You're supposed to fight him, but there's actually a secret area not near here, which if you double jump, you can get over the gate or over the fence and jump down there. So of course this game has a lot of hidden collectibles. Oh, you don't even need to double jump. Sorry, you can literally just jump over. It's not very well made, but yeah. So secret area, and then you bounce pad up there. I believe it's a double jump actually that gets you to the bounce pad, not over the fence, but yeah. Either way, you go down to a secret area, which normally just leads to a collectible. Don't remember which one, but there's a collectible down there. But you can use that instead to just skip the fight entirely.
Lord, the boom on you.
And here comes the hard part of the level, where I have two consecutive Sickle dashes, which are both quite difficult. And there I messed up the first one. Already. I'm gonna take you guys out first.
Most enemies in this
So you may be
game.
wondering why they just don't spawn in the bounce pad, which is in front of me right now. And the reason is because if I do, I'll trigger a cutscene later on after doing this next skip. So I might as well just skip that cutscene and then do this hard skip. So this is actually the hard part, when I am attempting now.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. And there I fell.
Tiny spawn there.
So yes, we have to stand on the pillar of this bridge and do a gnarly Sickle dash. And we enter a loading zone into the area with the key. Now we collect the key. And if we exit, we won't trigger the cutscene, hopefully. As well as, yeah, the enemies are not there. So, this is it for us.
Boom on you.
Yes.
Basically, this is just a big enemy pit fight, which lasts like 2 minutes. So, yeah, we saved 2 minutes.
As well as the villain fight.
That too.
It's actually where you get chill build, which we've seen already. There are 3 villains used in this, and you've already seen 3 of them. Just not in the not where you fight them. Chaos of course is fought at the very end of the run, and Sickle was fought in about 4 levels time. So now he's got quick tower climb. Not really too much to worry about here, just a bit of movement.
And now here, I'm going to switch to Chaos and take out his fire elemental attack. These enemies have eggshells, which you have to hit them twice before you can actually do damage to them. Sort of like a double shield. So I use his fire elemental attack because it will keep doing damage. I don't exactly know how to work this, but the numbers will keep going on.
Yeah, it's a little combo attack. It'll hit them and then it'll hit them again. It'll hit them again.
Yeah, exactly.
Frozen.
Maybe I add a little something new to this bad guy stew. Ultimate Doom Attack!
Yeah, this is just normal enemy boss fight. Or just enemy wave, sorry. There's a boss fight coming later. So,
The arena fights are pretty boring in this game. There are a lot of downtime, so if there's anything you want to, if anyone ever wants to say anything during these, then it's a good time, because we're just focusing on killing enemies as quickly as possible. And maybe, I mean, Don. Or even if I try and get difficult by doing stuff like that, so those chickens will peck you but barely do any damage. Also, you may have noticed that was a chill build in that, and they like to reuse villains as like weaker enemies in these fights, and just generally around. By the way, outside of the elemental attacks, Chaos also has two more attacks. Those Doom Sharks, which are a reference to Spyro's Adventure, I believe. They may also be a reference to some other game, but Spyro's Adventure is where they first came from. And there's also Chaos's giant floating head, which is also a reference to Spyro's Adventure.
Yeah, so now we have our boss fight, Cuckoo Clocker. It's kind of a mediocre boss because we can take him out in 2 hits.
Big, can you miss it?
And now it inserts a life trap in to skip some cutscenes. And yeah, that's it. Now we have a couple more enemies here that will jump down. And boom, that is chapter 4.
Yep. You may have noticed a little new Skystones thing in the top right. We'll explain what that means in a second. And by in a second, I mean next level. Because we're on to the next level. Which is a fairly long level.
So yes,
Chaos.
upcoming here in this next chapter is a big auto-scroller, so
Okay.
it's basically a shooting section, so any time for donations,
Okay, Skylanders.
feel free.
It,
Or
Well,
explain what the
there's
charity is.
there's plenty of downtime in this run, and there's also a lot of places where there's no downtime, but we have to. My commentary won't be able to keep up.
So what you wanna do?
The first level, I was talking so fast, trying to keep up with commentary. It's not the last time we'll do it as well. Next level will be pretty quick. But yeah, just regular auto-scrolling shooting section.
Remind me never to get in a shootout with you.
I can come in here and talk for a couple of seconds here about the
go ahead.
charity we're here for. Stack Up is to help the mental health of veterans through gaming. You can do exclamation point in the chat, or exclamation point stack up in the chat to learn more about the charity, and you can do exclamation point charity to see some information and then also donate there. But of course, if you're not able to donate, don't feel pressured to, just because we understand that these times in the world are quite difficult.
This way.
Oh, another cannon. Shoot this guy too.
Thank you. So, you may see a flashing circle button. Not only am I playing on PS4 because of fast load times and it just looks better, but that is an elemental power attack, and we don't use them at all in this one. So, if you want to know what they look like, it looks like that, and it just freezes all the enemies on screen. Nothing too fancy there. Some of these elemental attacks do take out all the enemies on screen, but we would have to switch Skylanders or figures to do that, and that would waste time. So you might as well just play the game mode.
Yeah. Boomjet, by the way, is used because he has decent DPS and has fastest speed. And yeah, we need a swap for Skylander for this.
Yeah, so I think that was the last group of enemies here. Now we can see some actual gameplay. Or should I say, glitches.
Yes, actual glitches. Finally.
Finally.
Finally. This level will look very different than what you do casually. And by very different, I mean about as, like, if you force this run, yeah, I think you can figure out what's gonna happen. Be pretty good.
So here I fired the cannon at this wall that was there before, and then I double jumped on that platform to get here early. Now we're gonna skip an enemy hit fight, which lasts about 40 seconds. And instead of going in there, which will actually soft lock us if we do, it's just another enemy fight after, which will give us a key to open up this gate, this key gate. I'm just gonna jump on the railing here and then double jump over the door. And now we're in the kitchen. Here's a Skystone's game, and I don't like tutorials, so I'm just gonna quit out and double jump over the game. And for this next Skystone's game, I'm gonna play it because I think I know how to play.
I know. I think you should have done the tutorial. Alright, yeah, so this is Skystone Smash. It's pretty simple. I think you can figure it out, but yeah.
Buzzer beak.
It's not too hard. There's some strategy to it, but like, it's mostly just...
Tussle sprout.
It's not too hard, doesn't require much brain power.
Yeah, the only thing I'm really looking out for here is any empty places on the right side, which I will place a Skystone on the left side, which will attack the actual, like, the actual thing on the top right corner, which is the guy's health for the card game, which I want to go to 0, so, yeah, that was that. And now we have a boss fight. Chef Pepperjack, we're going to use the tech attack glitch again. So, oh, fun fact, the actor for Guildrun in Imaginators is the same actor for Chef Pepperjack.
I did not know that.
That
was today I learned.
Be confusing.
And what do you know?
Let's spice things up.
I mean, I can see it, to be honest. Think about how Guildrun sounds versus how Chef Pepperjack sounds. I can see it.
And speaking of actors, the actor for Chaos, which everyone should know, is Richard Steven Orbit, who played, forgot the guy's name from Psychonauts, but he played that guy. And he also played Invader Zim.
Yep. We're giving this information because his boss fight has nothing special to it. It's basically just wait for his attacks to finish and then deal damage to him.
Yeah, so I might as well give everyone in chat some trivia.
Yes.
We got ourselves a real barbecue right here. No peppers, no way. Sizzling. Kick it up a notch. You like this extra spicy for you.
And I think the actor for Boomjet, I think he played Robin, the superhero in a couple of those Batman shows. That could be wrong though, I actually don't remember.
Fake news. I don't know.
Maybe I can slow things down here, Chief. No, I think I like it.
Oh, what I should also mention is the actor for Flynn, who is the NPC in the Academy. His actor is... I actually forgot his name as well, but... Oh, Patrick Warburton.
He does a lot of things.
Yeah, he plays Kronk in the Disney movie series. You guys probably know what Kronk I'm talking about. Hopefully. And he also plays the guy in the wheelchair from Family Guy. He's also the narrator playing Lemon Snicket in the Netflix series of Unfortunate Events. So yes, the Skylanders games do have quite a large cast of characters. And they're quite memorable as well. Yeah, so Chef Pepperjack is finding some steaks that will explode into lava. I forget the lore, but it's something similar to that.
Boomjet's voice actor is actually Roger Craig, who currently voices Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog, there you go. You gotta go fast. So, I mean, perfect role, right?
Yep.
And now we're gonna play a game of the floor is lava, but I actually touched the lava, so I guess I'm out. Anyway,
It doesn't actually
Chef
matter.
Pepperjack, we're gonna put a fire trap in and skip the animations. And boom, that is chapter 5. Now, dude, this is your favorite chapter to
Yeah, this one.
explain.
This one is. This one's very quick. Okay. So yeah. I'll try and commentate it all as much as possible, but it's a little bit of a rush. I may run out of breath. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oh, looks like my character did not read very well, so I had to put it back on the portal. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Bombs away!
That's the kind of thing you get when you have real life
Oh,
toys.
look at that, guys.
being
We got Beta.
characters.
We got the Beta villain. What Beta villain is... Oh, by the way, when you talk to Callie, which will be this chapter, next chapter, and next chapter, you get warped to a certain XYZ, so that's funny. But yeah, so Sickle doesn't seem to be in my portal right now, but he actually is. So this glitch is called Beta Villain because the texture you see on his HUD on the bottom left now is what the beta texture was for villains back in the day.
Alright, so let's do some explanations now. So first of all, we jumped off of the edge on that to get down to a secret area, which we actually need later. Normally you wouldn't be able to progress from there, but you can do a double jump back up to level. That skips a large enemy encounter and also villain fight. That double jump and the Sickle dash skipped another villain fight, a game of Skystones and some puzzles. So big skip. Now we're not supposed to go into there to go and hit a switch so we can open that gate, but we can just double jump over the gate. This means that some stuff is not spawned. Most simply the crane. Normally now you're supposed to use the crane to drop pirates into the water, but dropping pirates is very slow and also incredibly annoying. So instead we can just do a Sickle dash over the platform. Open this bridge. Now normally we go over this wall. We need to get a bomb for another building, bring it down here, and then do another crane game to remove more pirates, but they haven't spawned in yet. And we can't be bothered to go and get the bomb because that's slow, so instead we're going to do another Sickle dash. Or at least was supposed to be able to do another
I'll
one.
do easy strat, whatever.
So,
I'll just do easy strat. The hard strat would be good Sickle dashing on the left, but you know what, I just double jump on the right. It just looks cooler, and it takes less double jump.
Yeah. Anyway, so now that skips yet another crane, and it skips yet another villain fight. Well, now normally you think it would be a soft lock, but of course we can just double jump over there, and so we're not soft locked. And then we get some actual normal movement for one. By the way, the story of this level, Mags wants her information squid back because she is the inventor of everything and needs her information. She invented the...
And if you're curious on what these crane games look like, you'll see it right here. I'm gonna go for a strat here called Fast Fish Strat. Rock Mercury, if you're in chat, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you drop it right behind the fish... no, I did it. If you drop it, then he would, like, do a 180, and he would grab the fish, and he could grab him from the crane automatically, but doesn't look like I got it. Super sad. Anyways, we got the fish now, and we enter its mouth and collect her information squid. And yeah, that's chapter 6. There you go, guys. A lot to explain there. So this next chapter is quite an eerie chapter because it's Halloween themed, which was a month ago, so it's out of style now. Sorry guys, bad timing.
Buddy, if I were you, I would turn around.
So there's an
I
unskippable
stopped off
cutscene
here
here.
to pick up some supplies, and my ship fell apart. The more I try to fix her, the more broken
You can't skip
she
this,
gets.
sadly.
This place is cursed,
Apologies,
I tell
we
ya.
can't skip it.
But if you really want to get to the village,
We've tried
there's a crazy
just about everything.
candle-headed
Sickle
guy
dashes,
who can
double
take-
jumps. Just jumping over the trigger, nothing has worked. So here I'm going to jump on this stump and then do a double jump off of this railing. Oh, looks like I messed up. Actually, hold on. Apologies for that small intermission. Looks like I'm having a Discord calls issues.
I think on your end everything should be okay.
On
Duke's
my end should be? Okay. My computer.
Yep, Duke. Yeah,
Well-
Duke said he's having internet issues and has to do something real quick, so said he'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Alright, that's fine. Totally fine. Well, looks like I'm the star of the show, guys. Looks like I'm your narrator. So, yeah, I skipped a lot of the level, which would just be fighting enemies and seeing the guy named Hedwig. You can see him up there. I'll point him out for you guys, if I get this double jump. Yeah, this is Hedwig, right here. That's him. Get it? Because he has a candle on his head, so funny. So, here, I'm going to double jump up on this left fence, and I'm going to switch to Chaos. The reason I'm going to switch to Chaos is because he has a magic attack, and we're going to abuse this, mystical swamp's gimmick, which is, oh, I fell off. Oops. Fell off again. Alright, now we're back on.
At last, time for chaos.
So, if, since magic attacks replenish the health of Chaos, you can actually abuse it to go into the tree. Oh no. Oh, that was close. I almost messed myself up there. I accidentally spammed triangle too much.
Alright, my internet died for a bit, so I had to disconnect. I'll be dipping
you
out.
back.
Yeah, I'm dipping out for like 10 minutes in a bit anyway, for various reasons, but yeah. Sadly gonna miss my favorite part of the game, which is just, because it's just weird and wonderful, and showing that the devs can, like, have their, imagination go wild. But yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, with this damage, we're replenishing health and abusing the mystical swamp, which damages us. And we just go straight through. And yeah, that's that. Now I double jumped over that block puzzle, and now I'm gonna double jump over this gate, which skips the room. And here I'm going to do a cutscene skip that saves 1 to 2 seconds. So yeah, we take that time save.
Sickle.
And it involves Sickle, and we just press his primary attack into the gate, and boom, we're into the next area. Now, if we were to switch back to Chaos, which we will in a second, that skip wouldn't save just 1 second, it would probably save like 20 seconds. However, since we have to switch back, if we have to switch to and from Sickle, it would save less and less time.
There's basically just an arena fight now, so I need to be right back.
Here we have to shake around these beds to wake up the mob. And I jumped there so I could get onto this platform early. And here we just do some platforming. Haha, funny, yeah guys, platforms. This is an RPG, by the way.
Chaos.
I mean, the speedrun doesn't show it that much, but yeah. So now we have a really fun arena to fight. We're gonna use tech attacks this entire fight. The enemies here are so weak that they can just be taken out with the tech attack, which does only 500 damage. Unlike an undead attack, which would do around 800 damage. And also, these bubbles here have really big hitboxes, and so does the tech attack, so it pretty much matches up for the tech attack. So any enemy right above the tech attack will be defeated a lot quicker. And that's an ice ring. She screams out ice. This is a kids game.
Gee, I sure hope you don't fall or anything.
There's also a guy named I-5. You'll see him later in this arena battle. But basically, the palm of his hands have eyeballs in it.
This
So-
is starting to feel like a bad dream.
Basically, if you were to high-five him, you would hit his eye. And I think that's the creativity of that game, but I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, come on! Couldn't you just, like, give up or something? No? Well, a pet can dream, can't she? What does a pet have to do to get some good help around here?
Oh yeah, these guys made of yarn. They remind me of Little Big Planet. Oh, this is I-5 right here. So he doesn't I-5 anyone, but he actually fists you to death. So I'm glad I took him out.
You are
Looks like he's taking out all the enemies for now.
lame, Sky.
Here I'm going to switch to my undead trap to Sickle.
Sickle.
Because we will need him in the next chapter. So stay tuned, I guess.
The Dreamcatcher put...
And that's chapter 7. Yep, that's chapter 7.
See?
Here we have chaos on our good side, from storyline plot from chapter 6 you don't have to worry about. But for now, let's go ahead and talk to Callie and get warped, and we're heading off to chapter 8. Chapter 8 is quite a special chapter as well. It uses a lot of Sickle and a lot of chaos, so if you enjoy both of them, this is your chapter. So here we have this boring block puzzle where we just push it so that a light beam will travel in perpendicular movement as I do so. And a small little optimization we know is to double jump up to that button on the very top platform. Not this one that's on screen right now, but the one, like if you see it top left, there's a button there, and we just double jump from this railing up to there, and we skip having to step on the other button. Now we have some tricky movement because these bridges will get us stuck, and there are these jack-in-the-boxes which will launch us off the bridge. Here is quite a large skip. There's an enemy pitch fight, once again, and we skip it just by double jumping up to this button. And these buttons spawn in these blocks. The theme of these buttons in this chapter as well are that the buttons will make something rise up. They're like ascending buttons, I guess you could call them. Anyways, we are going to do just as before and push them into perpendicular formation. Now here's quite an interesting skip if I do get it. So I do a Sickle dash in the correct spot, and I didn't get it. Okay, I'll try it again. And I didn't get it. Okay, well, you can Sickle dash into an area, which is this one, but it's like another, how do I explain it? It's another section of this area, and you would have to jump down and open this bed as I would do so. It's basically like an up warp, I would say. Is it a wrong warp or an up warp? I really don't know. It's a confusing skip, but if I got it, you would understand. Anyways, here we just do it normally and wake up the guy, and you jump up here and enter the next area.
Hi, Ruiner.
Here I'm actually going to jump on these rocks and then double jump up to this platform and step on the buttons to spawn something after we do it, and you'll see it later. It's like a big, it's a big bridge that pops up. And since the bubbles hitboxes are so large, we can just hit the enemies in the sky while they're inside the bubbles. And here, the bridge appears, and we have a fun section. If anyone watched Skylanders Boy and Girl as a child, you would probably remember this section very well. It is quite an interesting section. It has sadly it's an auto scroller, so there's nothing much to do here.
Villains are stronger.
Other than that, we have a couple enemies to defeat here. And now we have a Skystone game, so hurrah! This is your last Skystone game of the speedrun Bible, so you better enjoy it.
So we locked the door
And
out
yes,
there
there are
in this
only 2
crate.
Skystone
Been
games
playing
in the
Skystone
entire
Smash in
speedrun.
here ever since, and
I
I'm
think there
pretty
are
good.
only
Think you can beat
2
me?
lock puzzles,
Well,
maybe
first
just
of all,
one
you must be
lock
crazy,
puzzle
but
in this
second
entire
of all,
speedrun.
if you do
You
manage
haven't
to
seen
win,
those
I
yet,
will give you the
so
key.
it just explains
Whatever
what
you
they
say,
are.
confirmed crazy person.
Anyways, a bit of optimizations here. Once again, we're trying to aim for the right column that's empty, and we place Skystones on the left column next to those empty spots, just as so. And we try to get as much damage in as possible. Chef Pepperjack actually does damage to the Skystones. He does 1 damage to all the Skystones. So we can actually get some quick kills here. And sadly, I didn't get the fastest, optimization for Skystones, which would be placing 3 of them. But I did get 4 Skystones, which is the second fastest, so technically we did pretty good. So here we make up this Mabu, and upcoming here is quite a hard skip that I don't like personally. It's so ironic because it's a Hoodsicle dash using Hoodsicle, but what we're skipping...
Yeah,
Oh, sorry?
this is the Hoodsicle fight, and so we're gonna use Hoodsicle to escape Hoodsicle.
Looks like Duke Dragon's Wi-Fi has come back on, and yes, he is correct. We use Hoodsicle to skip it. Hoodsicle.
And there we go.
Say that 5 times fast.
We use the Hoodsicle. No, now we use the Hoodsicle to escape the Hoodsicle. Easy. Easy skip. This is actually a little bit harder. As you saw, he was kind of like on the edge of the tile.
Yeah, it's quite precise. You can't be like going in every direction angle. It's quite a precise angle. And if you mess it up like by a pixel, you'll be spawning back to the edge of the time. Anyway, all we did there was just wake up a bunch of mobbers, and now we can do some more skips, which is double jumping over the sea. And we're stepping on this super bounce pad. I don't think we explained these, but these are like bounce pads, but they have a fixed coordinates of where you're going to land. And here I'm going to switch to Chaos, because Chaos has a longer range for his elemental attacks. And looks like we're going to have another glitch here, where my Skylander once again has to reload itself. Second time this speedrun, yeah.
Can be a little janky.
I think we also got beta here.
Yeah. It looked like it was beta.
So yes, this is just a visual glitch. This doesn't affect the timer or the damage health at all. It's just a funny glitch that happens once in a while. And we enjoy it when it happens.
And also, you get very annoyed by exit this time. Or at least if the Skylander reading glitch happens at the same time.
So up here, we're going to have Dreamcatcher. Probably one of the most manipulative bosses in the speedrun. You know, it's not
And by
that much.
by manipulative, he means like we're gonna do some skips to speed it up, not any other kind of manipulative that you may associate with the person.
Yeah, like we're not gonna like walk on a certain path and then like
You're too
wrong
late,
warp or
Sky
something,
Ruiner.
but we're just going to fall off the edge and it will spawn another bed during her dialogue when she
This whole
cannot
hero
be
thing you're
hurt.
doing is getting really
So once you
tiresome.
destroy that
so I
bed,
think it's time
it will...
I finally put an end to it.
Wait, I should probably re-explain that.
We can explain it more in the fight because it would make more sense.
Yeah.
I can do that. You can focus on the fight itself.
So here I'm going
So
to take out
Dreamcatcher-
this bed and then
I need
attack her. So as you can see, I'm not doing any damage to her.
solid ground.
But if I fall off the edge, it will spawn in the bed and fix her to the state where she spawns a shield again.
The power of someone's dream,
And then once I take out that bed, I can attack her again during her monologue. And Yeah, I had just enough time to explain that entire boss, so kudos to me. Now we're gonna put in
The main-
an aircraft and skip the animations. I think you already know this already. But yeah, that's chapter 8.
The main thing to note about that fight is the fact that normally, after the first phase, she will smash the glass floor and it will start to crumble. But jumping off the edge stops her from doing that because of the monologue. So she will never smash the glass, and so the floor will never collapse. It also means that in later parts of the fight, and now she'll spawn more beds, and you have to defeat more. Well, you have to wake up more Mabu, which is of course a lot slower. But that was a really smooth fight. Okay, so coming up is a combination of two of our most favorite things: auto scrollers and physics objects. One of which we'll skip, and the other one we'll sit through.
So we're not going to sit through the physics object, so we're using the ship's momentum to gain height. We're not exactly gaining height, but we're going upwards because of how the ship's physics work.
Yeah, you can see it's swaying. So normally you have to push a box, which has annoying physics as well because of how this game works, as well as the fact that it's swaying from side to side. It's pretty difficult to get the boxes into the holes where you want them. But we can just double jump over the ledges instead, which is much easier
And
and
here we
much
have a
faster.
fun section, which is just more awesome.
Yay!
Yeah. So the whole theme of these next 3 chapters are Evillican. They're also a tribute to this game, Skylanders Giants, where Willikin, the nice guys, the nice wooden dolls, are wooden dolls that come to life if you interact with their properties in certain ways. And now they're evil, so it just explains. Yeah, that's
we do still see friendly Willikin, but.
Right, there's chapter 11, which is after the next chapter, after this chapter. Is basically all about giants, so...
It's definitely like a huge Giants reference. But of course there's trap teams, there's a lot more involved. Actually, I should quickly mention that Giants...
to Ultrastar and River 25.
Yep.
They're the best hunters at Giants, and that's what I heard at least.
It's also an incredibly broken game, especially in the diversity of the glitches. There are just so many things to do in that game. It's very complicated, very difficult, and incredibly enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, this game is just the most broken.
It's definitely the most broken.
Well, there's an answer to that, but yeah. Anyways, we're finished with taking out all the cannons, so I'll fire the circle attack for you guys who really wanted me to. Probably yelling at me in chat right now.
Chat, Speedrun's chat is pretty quiet, but it normally is.
Okay. Oh well.
Oh well.
Anyways, we're finished with that section. Now, let's go ahead and do some glitches, shall we? Dude, would you like to explain?
When we get there, as normal. But yeah, so this is one of 2 levels in the game where Mabu follow you around and they can deal damage to enemies and help you out with certain tasks. But waiting for them is slow, and also doing the level normally is also slow. So here we're gonna go over this key gate. Damn, first try, let's go.
We were having trouble with that during practice.
Yeah, that's a really difficult skip, really precise. And like even if you think you get it, it's even more precise than that. So you may be on top of the gate, but you still fail it. But really good to see that first try. Normally normally the Mabu will follow you around and attack things, but we don't have to worry about that. I don't know if we've mentioned yet, but keys in this game are not. You don't have to put a key in a certain gate. You just have to put a key in a gate. So we get the first key and then skip the gate, and that is key smuggling, and we can use that to skip a fairly slow puzzle, which you'd normally do to get the second key for that gate. So yeah, obviously a lot faster to do it like that. And it's
looks like I'm struggling with this skip. This is probably the hardest skip in the chapter, but
yeah,
I usually get it more than I should have.
Ooh. Nope.
Oh, I almost got it. Okay. The reason we have to do this glitch is because the Mabu don't come chasing after us. I think the gate's like still blocking them.
Yeah.
So they would open that gate that I was trying to jump over there, but they're not there, so we have to double jump.
You can tell that. Yeah, you can tell that was a Marby gate because of the Marby symbol. There was no other way to destroy that gate other than let them bash it out with their clubs. Anyway,
Right,
so here it is. Yep. So here's another villain fight. I think by now you can probably figure out what's going to happen in this fight. So yeah.
Cranky Frankenstein.
Yeah, so we're switching to Chaos here mainly because
Speed.
his range of attacks. Boom, that's Frankenstein.
Yep, so yes, so there normally those other enemies, those other evilkin are supposed to come down and attack you. You have to defeat them and then he'll jump down. But Chaos combined with the jump can just put his most powerful attacks up there, sustained attacks, and they'll damage him way earlier than intended. Which is
I
perfect.
should probably explain that Frankenstein is the, like, because Crankcase is the maker of Evilican, he made the Evilican.
Chaos?
So Frankenstein is like the Frankenstein of Dr. Crankcase.
So who's
If
up
that
for
makes
next?
any sense, because it doesn't
It's
to me.
basically just a giant Frankenstein reference, which is actually something I have not noticed until it was pointed out to me today.
Yes, this game is full of pop culture references. I'm pretty sure Wolfgang.
Oh yeah,
Kind of a pop culture.
Wolfgang screams pop culture.
Not
Anyway,
pop
so this,
culture, but culture.
yeah. But before we get there, we need to do this level and several other levels. So this is the Supreme Sewers of Supreme, Secret Sewers of Supreme Stink. Very hard to say that level name. It's
You
a,
should say that by now.
it's got some interesting things to it. Not in the sense of like it's an interesting level, but the glitches that we can do have some interesting side effects. Here's our first lock puzzle. It's very simple. You just get the guy from the to the exit hole. There's actually an evolution of the other lock puzzles that you see in every other game.
So,
Actually,
I'm just gonna point
sorry.
out, people are probably yelling at me in chat right now because I'm doing a totally different solution for that third lock puzzle. But guys, I don't know the other one, okay?
He's doing the best solution. Anyway, so here there are. So it's basically inhabited by a bunch of gillfish. I don't remember their names exactly. Or gillmen, and the gillmen they've occupied the sewers, and they're kind of scared about you contaminating them with germs. So we have to basically they think we're just another enemy. So the entire level is just about proving that you're a Skylander, which only makes a little bit of sense, but whatever.
Yeah, so I did a very big double jump there. There used to be a strat where you would use Sickle and just dash across the rivers, but no one likes that. Also, if I don't collect the rubber ducks, my run's invalid.
Okay, I might have
Alright, so here is going to be an interesting visual glitch. The game's kind of confused about where we're supposed to be right now because we skipped a huge amount of the level. So it's going to play this cutscene, which obviously is way earlier in the level. By the way, you can just barely see in the bottom. He's actually still taking damage because the enemies are still loaded there. But the game is playing a different cutscene, which just looks weird. So normally we fight a lot more chompies and use goo chompies and other enemies, but you can just not.
Oh no. Oh, okay, got it. Nice. I was getting stalled by the boom jet dash buttons, but thankfully I made this time, so we're all good.
Alright, so here I think is definitely the best one on level, because here's a villain fight. Villain fights are slow, so we're not going to. We just don't jump over that, double jump over it. We're going to use these cogs, which of course they're fairly simple to figure out. You go in that direction and it will spin. Then we jump down into this hole, which is for later in the level. Down we go.
Okay, my run's not invalid, we're safe.
Okay. By the way, the villain fight's health bar is still on screen, and it will not leave the screen for the rest of the level. And in fact, at the end of the level, it'll get kind of weird, because the game is just incredibly confused right now. It does not know what we're doing. It does not like the fact that we're skipping it. So yeah, it's actually weirdly unique in the fact that the thing doesn't unload. In Chapter 4, for example, when we skipped Dreadnought, by the time we jumped up to, when we jumped back up, then it triggered another cutscene, and that stopped the health bar from being on screen, and so the game went on as normal. But this one doesn't do that. I do not know why, but I think it's just because there's no real cutscene to get it away. But even then, in the arena battle, it's still there, and it will still be here for a while. And by a while, I mean a while, because it's an arena fight. It's going to take forever.
See, brothers? This newcomer has the skills of a real Skylander.
So yeah, this is just another boring arena fight.
Yep.
Just like every other arena fight, I think.
There's nothing special.
You have Gilman now. Pretty sure there's no collision on this whatsoever. Yeah, there's no collision. So, not like you can just sit back and relax.
I mean, not like it would matter, because we do actually need to defeat the enemies.
Yeah, there is a glitch with Dreamcatcher where you can get out of bounds, but that was early in the level, and I don't think you can do anything.
Would we be in the presence of a Skylander?
Could be fun to showcase, but not really too much of an
It'll be
issue.
fun.
But it'll take a lot more
If the trigger toward the end of the level were there, then I would probably have shown off that Dreamcatcher glitch. But from what I've experimented with, there doesn't seem to be any trigger there.
but not someone you really want to cross paths with. Literally.
Yes, I am using undead attacks, and I'm using my Doom Shot, because I like Spyro's Adventure, and Kappa, and
Spyro's Adventure is another, like similar to Giant, Spyro's Adventure is another very broken game. So actually, it's only recently got broken, and we can actually thank someone who's currently in chat, Mech Ant-Man, for breaking Spyro's Adventure. HT is already being broken, so if you have the PS3 or Xbox 360 PC or PC version of the game, you can pick that up, and it's just ridiculous. We were slightly more resistant, but it's now quite broken as well. There are definitely a lot of Skylanders speedruns to check out. I'd say this one, Giants, and Spyro's Adventure. If you're going to check out a Skylanders speedrun, these three are the ones to go for. They're a little bit harder to learn, of course, because like unlike the other two or the other three, with Sword Force, Supercharged, and Imaginators, there's a load of glitches, so you have to learn everything. Those don't have any. They have next to no. They're next to none, so they're a lot easier to learn. But yeah, all three of the other games, they're a lot harder to learn, but they are a lot quicker. And a lot more broken, and way more interesting. Yeah, shout out to Mega Ant-Man. I also like to say that Don basically discovered everything with this game. Well, Bangara and Don, like, those two have been the biggest contributors to this game, and discovered most of the skips. There's been some other people as well who have come and gone and found skips, but Don has really been the one to take on Trap Team. And the only one actually. Go give him some competition. Go learn this game.
yeah, go learn this game.
It's great. It's hard. Like, it's rewarding.
Only 3 runners, guys. Only 3 runners.
Skylander would know to stay clear of radioactive slime trails.
Or Sage, have you?
I have a question for chat. Do you pronounce it Sage or Sage?
We're going completely off rails with the commentary because we've got nothing else to do during the arena fight, because we're just waiting for these enemies to spawn so we can kill them.
I'll stop in and say it's 100% Sag.
Alright. There you go, dude.
I guess I'm unique in pronouncing it Sage. Ah, no, Ben's okay. Benzel's agreeing with me. Okay, I'll stay by Benzel.
Sage is the spice, not the...
Alright, so now we're gonna get some weird things. So, we just defeated a villain, and now it thinks that the villain from earlier was defeated, yet we're trapping the guy we just defeated. Now it's realized that we defeated Rage Mage again, so we killed Rage Mage, and now we're actually trapping Rage Mage. Yeah, the game...
Game is perfect. Don't judge.
No, Benzel betrayed me. But yeah, no, very weird, obviously. Aww.
So here is our actual tribute to Giants.
Yes.
It looks nothing like the Giants level, by the way. Except for the Willikins. I think that's the only similarity here. And the music as well. Which I'm probably talking over because it's so soft. But you know what? You'll see Paul Ritchie soon. Okay, here he is.
If you're wondering, yeah, it's a reference to Willikin Village from the... So yeah, there's a normal Willikin. We're also in Chaos's place. And because actually Willikin, while they're nice, they actually do work for Chaos still, because Chaos created them. Or at least somewhere in Chaos. So something in Chaos's vision of evil created them.
Oh wow, I'm messing up this first skip. Oh no.
Oh no. Anyway, so yeah, so we're currently playing Chaos in an effort to help Chaos. Which is interesting. Of course, that's the kind of thing you get with these kind of games. So, of course, this game, all the data is stored on the figure itself and not on the game or the file. So, yeah. So you can have New Game Plus stuff like this. I actually quickly mentioned with villains, there's special post-game stuff that you can do, called now where you can basically redeem yourself and do a quest. Chaos's one is by far the best.
Very well.
It's brilliant. I don't know who at Activision or who at Vicarious Visions or who at Toys for Bob created it, but I want to thank them very much for doing it.
And also shoutouts to Paul Ritchie, who was earlier in this level.
Yes.
And shoutouts to me struggling with the skip.
This one's a lot more.
It's a
very yeah. This one you need an awful lot of height. Because like double jumps, they can basically work at any height, so long as you get the technique down. But of course, when you actually initiate the jump will depend. They now will give you more or less height, and we need a lot of height from this one. So we basically need it at the peak or the near peak, which is very hard.
If estimate goes behind, blame the skip. Okay.
This one is taking the longest one apparently.
Okay, there we go. We just had to spam X more. So yeah, that skipped a boring, very annoying and boring enemy wave, so that's cool. And we're going to skip, this is a smaller skip, but I'll try to do it anyway. It's a bit more finicky.
Yeah, that's because so it looks like you can just jump over this battle gate, but that's actually not possible because the devs thought of that and thought you could just do a regular jump from the fences over the gate. So they made the wall a little bit higher, so you can't do that. But of course, we're one step ahead of the devs, and we instead just created a jump that's way higher than what they expected, so we can still just jump over it.
Yeah, and for most of these skips, you may wonder why I actually need to do double jumps, and as Duke said, that's exactly why.
Yeah, they did put some effort into thinking about the layout and anti-cheese.
Like for example, it looks like I could just jump around the corner of these singular jump around the corner. That's what I should be saying. But the devs were smart, so they made the thing make you respawn.
Well, hello there.
Yeah,
levels in this game. Levels in this game tend to be incredibly linear, and there's a lot of invisible walls around to stop you from going where you shouldn't. That's not always the case, of course. It's a lot more free. The earlier games, they were basically like, if the devs didn't want you there was an invisible wall there to stop you. But you know.
I think that goes for almost every game except for this game.
Yeah, there's I mean, the games where you can jump around, where you can actually jump, there's a little bit more freedom. But
so if you like liberty, this is your liberal game, right?
Freedom. Wow, political joke. SMH. Anyway, moving on from that, let's go to Dr. Crankcase, which is, yeah, another fairly linear fight. Although, there are some cutscenes here which make it interesting. This is actually one of the most story-driven ones. Okay, so here's the next phase of this fight, where you have to stop the barrels from getting into the goo, because they actually, if the barrels reach the goo, then they make enemies.
Hey, I don't know about you, but I'm having a good time here.
They're not particularly deadly enemies, but they waste time, because they do a long jumping animation out, and then you have to kill them, so yeah, a little bit of time. And then periodically, Crankcase will jump down, and we can attack him. Once again, if you weren't here earlier for it, that was, it looked like he was doing 400 damage, like multiple times a second, but that's just a glitch. It only really does 400 once.
Speaking of
Yeah,
bad
that's the
guys,
tech
let's
attack.
check this out.
Looks
Yeah.
cool.
Also,
but it doesn't do anything.
Also, sometimes it's showing 720, and that's because of critical hit. So there's just a random chance that you'll get a crit attack. There's absolutely no manipulation to it. It's not like get a headshot or something like that. It's literally just you roll the dice and you got a crit. Well done. Have some more damage.
Yeah, 720 is just like the random extra hit. The extra hit.
Yeah.
Critical hit, that's what you call it. And it's random. So.
That goes for every single attack in the game, by the way. Every single attack that does damage has the random critical hit chance. And you can actually increase the critical hit chance with heroic challenges and other upgrades. It's actually one of the main stats in this game. Every Skylander, of course, has varying stats between speed, armor, which is random chance to get a shield, movement speed,
So here,
and
I'm
then
actually going to try to do a quick kill. And I got it, cool.
nice.
I just
Dude,
wanted
just
to
step
remind
back.
everyone in my own chat that watch the twitch.tv/speedrun stream because that's epic.
Looks like I'm a little late to the party.
Don, we have a question in your chat, which is better, Undead or Tech?
Take down this Skylander, will ya?
Tech.
Alright, thanks.
As fun as that
You're
sounds,
welcome.
I think I'm gonna leave that part. But I would like to borrow Chaos.
And this is Wolfgang. Hi, he's a wolf, and he's dead. He's a dead wolf.
Well, if you
Oh, just
can't
like
trust
Wolf.
an
He's undead.
werewolf, who can you trust, right?
Just
We'll
like
see more of him
Mozart.
later.
Guess we.
We'll see more of him later.
Isn't he also a musician? There you go.
Uh,
Genius.
Very much so. Well, kind of. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. I'll let you guys figure it out later.
Shout out to any classical music fans, finally. What's your favorite Mozart piece? Mine is Eine kleine Nachtmusik.
More random arena / boss fight talking points because there's nothing to explain. Like I would say, like any other speedrun would say, oh, you gotta watch out for the big spiky thing at the back. But like it doesn't matter because we basically can't die with chaos. And like even if his health is getting low, we just use magic and replenish it.
Any further, then this has been a real treat for me.
That's not diss at anyone, by the way. Nor is that probably true. I'm just saying. Just wanted to have an excuse to point out the fact that we really don't have to worry about our health in these fights.
And it looks like Chaos is about to go bye-bye. Well, oh no. Well, looks like I'm just fist fighting this guy now.
Ah, classic.
Oh well.
Come on, you can
Here
do
we
better
go.
than that,
And he's
right?
dead.
Dr.
If he does run out of
Crankcase
time, by the way, you'll
defeated.
notice there's a little like division within a little like partition of the time, and that's because you can't actually use him again until the time replenishes over that line. Then you can use him again. Anyway, that was chapter 11. Pretty standard level. You just get from beginning to end to catch a Doom Raider. The main boss fights, by the way, those are Doom Raiders most of the time.
Hood
The
Sickle.
ones with limited health. The story of this game is that I already mentioned that the story of the game was the Doom Raiders got released, but now they're attacking, and Chaos is upset because they're being more evil than he is. And so he wants to stop the Doom Raiders from being more evil than him. So working together with him for a little bit.
Here's another thing I know.
This is, as well as Chapter 6 was, it's pretty short and there's a lot going on.
Yes. But this is Time Town, so we're going to be brought back to Renaissance Italy to meet with Da Vinci and do various other now leveled things, and the reason for that will become apparent later. So the next level we'll find out why we're going back in time, but for now we just need to... For now this level is very much puzzle based, given the skips, actually most of the time is spent with puzzles instead of any enemy counters.
I would actually like to know if there's any Activision employees watching this. What time period and where was this section based off of?
I'll put us ahead.
I made the guess of Renaissance Italy, but like the architecture doesn't look right for that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
it looks
Now,
too
let me show you
golden
something.
and blue.
It looks too modern. It looks too industrial. It's like it's a combination between Renaissance Italy and industrial,
Right, guys.
like the Industrial Revolution.
It's at the fire.
and
So
some
you may
other time.
wonder what I just did. So what happened was I triggered the cutscene, and right after I pressed my primary attack. And that's basically what a Sickle dash is. So now we're going to do a Sickle dash using L2 instead of a cutscene to get over to this next area, if I can do it. Okay, cool.
Let's get this one
Nice.
removed.
Flying high.
And yeah, that's a skip. It skips enemies. Most of
A lot
the
of enemies.
skips skip enemies, if you did not notice that.
Yes, we spent a lot of time skipping villains and skipping enemies. They're not the same as I explained earlier. They're
Mainly
slightly
because, this game would be more of an RPG, and we don't like RPGs, we like platforms. Sorry
Slash
guys,
move.
if you like RPGs, but platforms,
Sage.
yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna do another one of these.
Just incredible. It's very hard, but I promise you're almost done.
And you may wonder, why do you use Hood Sickle whenever you go into these pipe puzzles? And the reason is,
Incredible. Just
when I switch during these cutscenes after I finish the pipe puzzle, I'm able to move, and it looks like I'm walking on air, but really the hitbox is still there, and we're on to the next area. So, if this were a glitch for speedrun, which it isn't, we would have soft locked, but I can just double jump over everything, so it's no big deal.
By the way, keep an eye on physics. Alright, there we go. We can just push blocks through fences because you're not supposed to be here until that gate is done. That skips a huge amount of enemies, by the way. That's like multi-minute amounts of enemies.
And now we're going
And because
to
of-
skip, I honestly don't know what we're going to skip.
A
But
lot.
we're through the wall now, and we're going to walk on air, and into the next area.
Yeah. So yeah, as you saw from the other bit of invisible wall that I was walking on, there's normally more section level there, but that doesn't spawn in until the gates are done, or maybe some earlier point. But either way, it doesn't spawn in, so you can walk on the hitbox that's normally there, and then you can do more level, which skips a large amount of enemies. Straight
And
over
that's
more
chapter
invisible
12.
until
Thank
the
you.
and that's chapter 12. Yeah, very simple. And by very simple, I mean very complicated, but it looks simple. Remember, like all of this is incredibly complicated.
Nah, he's just flattering. Don't worry,
I'm just
guys.
glad. Yeah, I'm making sure to let Don know that he's actually doing a good job. This is a decent man.
Oh, thank you. So, once again, this is always a meme in my chat. I always talk to Flynn instead of Da Vinci for this
This is the only-
chapter, which you actually have to talk to Da Vinci for. This is the only time we talk to Da Vinci. Well, for the hub world at least. And, we're in the future of Skyland, so we entered a portal and we entered the future. Here I'm struggling to get on top of this plant. This is Ratchet and Clank, by the way. Oh wow, I'm actually struggling so hard now.
No, no, dude.
Okay, there we go. Oh, don't fall. Thank you. Okay, we're good.
Alright, now, Hood's Liquid Ash.
And that skips like a bunch of auto scrolling. Like there's a taxi thing, and you stay on it for a couple seconds, and then you end up on that platform, which you can see in the background there. It's just boring. Okay? I'm saving history.
And they'll definitely still save time, by the way, compared to going over the taxi service.
Here, these are basically enemies you would have seen previously in the game. Well, except for the Cyclopses, but these enemies are the exact same enemies, except they wear, like, these futuristic-looking hats. Look like Tesla coils, I honestly don't know what they are.
I don't care, they're just cool.
Oh yeah, also they spawn in right in front of you, like they're from out, like they're aliens or something, so that's cool. Blastertrons, let's explain those, because they're evil.
They're very annoying. So these enemies have a shield in front of them, so you can't attack them from the front. That shield also does damage.
So we have to go behind
Now,
them.
at the very least, okay, at the very least, you can hit them from behind, okay? Other shielded enemies in other games from the series, if they have a shield up, you can't hit them even from the back, and you have to wait for them to drop it.
So I just wanted to show everyone, if you switch when the game wants to... I don't know how to explain it, but... If you switch inside of here, you get stuck inside the box.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, the game doesn't account for the momentum, so you just end up inside of them.
And you can see a texture glitch. You can see like these blue, like water things popping up in the background. I don't know what that is, but yeah. GG game design.
Yep. So yeah, of course, we just gotta free ourselves from these grabbers by using the laser cannon. Pretty simple stuff.
Wow, you're
A lot of puzzles in this game, they're very, like, a lot of puzzles in this game mostly do just push the thing as far as you can because they are only in a set direction, which usually means that the set direction is the direction you need to push them. Right, so here, we're gonna do another dash, a very precise one, but almost.
And this saves about 2 to 3 minutes, by the way, so it is worth going for.
Including a 1-minute auto-scrolling section.
There we go, I got it, third try.
Hey, that's pretty quick. So now we're inside of the building, which I believe is the subwoofer. Also, of course, Wolfgang is a dog, and he is playing with a subwoofer. I think you can figure out the pun there. The reason for that, by the way, is that he wants to have a rock concert that's so loud that it can destroy Skylanders or destroy the future. Or something like that, I don't remember exactly, but he's having a very loud concert.
Chaos.
Yeah, so, yeah. It's the whole theme of Wolfgang is just music. If you can figure that out, yeah. Mozart.
Time, space, and music. Which I mean, I gotta say, is a pretty interesting thing. Yep. Next boss fight is actually pretty cool. It just reeks of the future, and also it reeks of like traditional, more traditional boss fights that you may have seen in something like an 80s or 90s video game.
Yeah, so now we're playing Space Invaders.
Destroy these conduits while the shield is around. You don't have, you can move up and down, but the movement left and right is already cypher, and you can turn around and you can move up and down. So it's not the first time that the game has had mechanics like this.
Okay, now time for the boss fight.
Well,
yep. By the way, this isn't even the last shooting section in the game. There's more shooting sections remaining.
That's right.
Feels bad, man.
Skylander, we don't have to fight. Together, we could rule this place. There's no chaos, no Doom Raiders, and you can get pizza here in 30 seconds or less. Nah, let's just fight instead.
Wolfgang.
Great cutscene.
Yes.
Best
Yeah, so it starts out a fairly normal fight. You get a real sense of what's going to happen. Also, it's one of the few bosses where you can just keep piling damage on again and again and again. There's basically no invulnerability except for when he's out of your reach, which is only for like a few seconds. Later into this fight, there'll be a bit more, but for the most part, you can just pile on damage. It feels more like a traditional boss fight compared to the other ones, which are just them using their attacks until eventually you die.
Yeah, so you can make a glitch. There's like, it's not exactly a glitch, it's just how the map of this is formed. But if you fire sharks onto the forward and backward wall, it looks like you have lips. So, I don't know. The Doom sharks look like lips, or Doom sharks lips.
Who gets they just look cool.
Oh, I forgot to show you guys the supersonic glitch. It looks funny. So, Wolfgang does this animation, you've probably seen it already, where he goes on top of the speaker, and then he does like a really big somersault, and he slams his harp on the ground. You can actually make it so you damage him on his last hit, which would be before this cycle, and it will look like he's supersonic or something. Looks cool, okay?
I was kind enough to take you on tour, but you appear to be hogging all the spotlight.
We use Boomjet there because die is not really a problem, as we do need chaos to stay out. Because it takes a while, because it does take time to get the magic attack out, which is the only real counter to it.
Get ready to try.
And boom. That is Wolfgang, and that is chapter 13.
Yay.
Now, for this next chapter, there is quite some difficult glitches in this chapter. I'll just say it right now. Even stuff I can't do first try, so...
Oh, sounds like Plasma.
Alright.
Yeah, time to break my wrists. I meant time to do some hard skips, which will hopefully not hurt my wrist.
The name implies this level we're going to go and get a rocket, because in Skylands apparently there's this other area of Skylands that you can't even reach with a normal ship that can go in every direction, and you need a special rocket to reach it. Video game logic. Alright, so here we're going to do a double jump over this lock puzzle. Went very well. Now we're going to do a double jump around this, this tower, and that went really well. And now we're going to do one of the harder ones, which is to get over this rock puzzle.
What the heck? No way.
Nice!
No way. That's the best I've done ever.
Buttery smooth. Gold pog.
Gold, maybe?
Alright, so here we're going to do a little bit of a stay strat. So you can jump over this gate, but obviously if you fail that, then you can just let the Mabu do it for you. And...
yeah, the Mabu do everything for us.
But of course we can just hit Sickle Dash. Oh, close. But we can hit Sickle Dash over them.
I'm trying to get the cutscene trigger glitch. Not going very good.
I'm trying to hit Sickle Dash into a cutscene.
Oh no. Just realized my mobs were trying to fight some guys there. Oh no.
Alright, you got one Mabu.
Yeah, we got one Mabu. I forgot about that troll turret there. Oh well. Well, that gives me more time to practice. Yes. And that was a bad, Dude, this was going so well. That first part was incredibly smooth. The first part of the level was unnaturally smooth. I'll just splice the run, Kappa.
Splice the marathon run.
And the reason I said Kappa was because I do not condone splicing runs.
No. Alright, so we're gonna give up and we're gonna do a slightly easier trick, I believe. Or he's gonna wait for the gate. Well, slightly easier trick is wait. It might be a while because there's only one Mabu.
That took a bit longer than expected because usually you have 2 trolls taking out that gate for you.
Or 2 Mabu.
But you know what? We only had 1. He was the best gamer in the show. All right.
He tried.
Give that man respect for that.
Yes. Give him. The best.
Okay, so funny glitch you can do here. I'm gonna intro now.
You Skylanders are actually pretty good.
By the way, let's point out the fact that the Mabu who would normally be helping you to beat up trolls throughout this level decide to sit and clap in the arena fight. When they could be like attacking them, when they could be spawn camping them.
Yeah, I just wanted to show off this. You get up warped up here and it looks cool. Try it at home.
Oh yeah!
I should also mention you can also do double jumps with Sonic Boom, the Skylander, and the Skylander double. So it's not just Buffalo Skylander. So if you have any of those 2 characters, you can try these things at home.
Whoopsie daisy!
Or any Swappable character. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter if they're super slow or super fast. If they do a lot of damage or do basically no damage. It doesn't matter if they're big or small. It doesn't matter if they don't even have to have legs, okay? Any Swappable Skylander will do.
Oh boy, this is not quite going as planned. Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
The only problem these days is the fact that they block you. there's no worries.
Oh, fun fact,
Not good.
Professor Nilbog
Okay, okay.
is,
I think I
goblin
finally have this
backwards.
figured out. To defeat you Skylander
Probably because it's a
heroes,
goblin. I don't
I
know.
must become
Control.
a hero myself.
I don't know. Those wants to shout out the raid, but there has been a 28-person raid. Welcome to the marathon,
Yes, welcome.
and welcome to this trap team run.
I hope you like
Right, so coming
Skylanders
up is
speedruns.
yeah, coming up is the absolute hardest villain fight you'll ever see. There's a load of insane strategy in this guy. It's ridiculous. Okay, you want to make sure that it might not go well. We'll have to wait and see. And he's God damn it, done.
Threat pack
Why?
Oh, he messed up.
What did
I was hoping
do?
that you was going to defeat him like super quickly, so I say, and he's gone. But I had to delay it weirdly. Yeah, no. As you can tell, these villains are pretty trivial to take out.
I'm too speedy for you guys.
the guy he avoided you.
We should have a commentator speedrun.
That was it.
Commentate speedrun. Who can commentate the game the fastest?
Devs React speedrun.
Yes.
IGN when? Kipo. This next chapter is a lot of auto-scrollers, so whoever that person who just rated us, you rated the stream at the perfect time.
And by
We're ready
perfect,
for
I
some
mean
auto-scrollers.
better. Yeah. Don't worry, we do have a little bit more freedom in the shooting section. It's not really like the first shooting section is not really an auto-scroller because we have a lot more freedom to move around where we want, unlike the first two shooting sections. By the way, this is also a callback to Skylanders Giants with the level Auto Gyro Adventure, where you fly around in this thing, except that's in very narrow tunnels. And this one is in the air.
Which is super far.
Yes.
Wow, these air pirates are
Now I have to
fast.
collect
I'm not even
Skylanders, swing by my ship and I'll give you speed.
And we also need rockets for Mags. Wherever Mags is. Oh, there she is. There she is, sorry.
Sure.
Apologies, my fault.
The Archean robot, by the way, is Chaos's. Chaos.
In spam rockets and interceptor. It's easier and it's faster than just using your R2 attack or whatever you use for shooting the little bullets I'm using right now. It's just a bit faster to use rockets. Yep.
Nice shooting, Skylander.
Archean Copter. Yep, this is the Archean. I'm not even convinced like they did anything with the model other than updating the textures to HD.
Looks like I'm not getting any rockets anymore. Probably because I'm not touching that. But,
Yeah, the Trap Team has like weirdly got a lot of callbacks to Giants. Swap Force basically has none. Like, it does so much different. The lot puzzles in
yeah, what
Swap
the
Force
heck?
are completely.
Swap Force?
Swap Force's lot puzzles are completely different. They don't have Skystones. They barely have anything related to the story. There's like some, but barely any. And then this game has, it's just reference after reference. But not just the Giants, mind you. Yeah. Not just to Giants, of course. It has references to other games, especially Spyro games. Not Spyro games, sorry, other Skylanders games like
Okay,
Skylanders
so
Adventures.
here's the actual gameplay. You double jump over this gate,
The hitbox of that is way smaller than it looks. You can.
and you double jump over this gate.
Now we meet Taekwon Crow, who is a Skystone Master. Oh no, sorry, not Taekwon Crow, Hulk Among Us. I get this too confused.
Yeah, so I absolutely love Skystones, and I'm oops, I accidentally pressed circle. Oh no, we're not gonna be able to play Skystones now. Super sad. So instead, I'm going to do a fancy double jump. That was
He blocks your path unless you.
okay.
As you can tell, he'll block your path unless you play Skystones with him. So now, that gate is the same as the key gate earlier, in that its hitbox is wildly smaller than the gate itself. However, if we don't do the turret section, then we won't be able to. We won't be able to progress because they will just block us. Turrets seem to have this very interesting thing about loading. So basically, there's no way to most turret sections, unless they're optional, of course.
Yeah, you can skip just about every turret, but it's off lucky. Activision patched the game.
That's not even the. Someone in chat mentions his buffed Falco. That's not even the first crow in the game that has this property. I mentioned Taekwon Crow, who was actually a villain we took out in chapter 4, but like they're so similar in the fact that they're both birds and they're both strong.
Yeah, they're strong.
Yeah. Again, I get the two confused.
Keep up the good work.
So that's the end of that turret section, and now we're going to ride up the spiral. There's not really much anything else in this section.
And I'm pretty sure there are 2 of them in this game. There's also Falco and various other birds that have very a lot of power.
So speaking of buff birds, there's going to be a buff bird right here, and he's dead.
Wow.
There we have a bunch of buzzer beaks there, and they're also dead. Oh well.
They're also very efficient when it comes to his murders.
And that buff bird is also dead. And now this boy.
Oh, we don't see the other crow because fighting villains is slow, so we don't fight them.
Yeah, the other crow was in chapter 12, and 2-3 chapters past that. He was also intentional. Not intentional. He's also, like, optional. That's the thing. I don't know why intentional came out, but...
Intentional and optional mean the completely different things. It's the complete opposite, in fact. The antonyms.
Even if you too have secret ninja tomato skills.
For example, everything we're doing in this run is probably optional.
Well, we do everything that's not optional. We do everything that's not optional and a little bit less.
Yeah.
Elemental attack.
Cover me, Skylander.
So yes, everyone wants me to press circle. I'll do it for you. Okay, there you go. I did it for you.
Oh no.
Chat will be yelling at me. Now here, if I go far to right, I will trigger a cutscene that I can't skip, so I'm gonna double jump up here and skip that. And if you don't know what that is, if you were to play Skystones with Hawk Among Us from earlier, he would ask for a rematch, and that's what the cutscene is, so... We basically skipped Skystones and the cutscene. Also, I should have mentioned, this level's a bit laggy. Probably because of too many, objects on screen. There's stuff under us, that's probably why.
Yeah, it's just one massive tower. Like, unlike the other levels where it can easily unload things, this one you can see down the tower from moving anywhere, so it keeps a lot of it loaded, which obviously just overloads the game.
Yeah, the level design for this level was not as great as the other ones.
Well, I mean, there's just not really any easy places to put an unloading trigger to unload things. You could do it with the turrets, but then, like, you still have to load certain things because of the fact that everything's on top of each other.
Oh yeah, also the funny thing about this level is that if you fall down, you could literally go from the very end of the level back to the beginning.
The only level in the game to do that, because every other level is incredibly linear.
Yeah.
Elemental attack ready.
I mean, unless you use, like, no clip or something, then maybe I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, you can go backwards, like, but it's just not easy. And generally when you enter an area, like, you can't go backwards from that area. Of course glitches can assist with that, but...
You seem to be taking some damage here. You might try changing that.
That's a lot of damage.
Yes. Don't worry, the shooting section is almost done, and that will actually be, I believe, the last shooting section of the run. Oh no, sorry, there's one more in the desert, I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the last shooting section.
I mean, there's like a... I mean, I don't know if like you intend to skip it, but there's like a somewhat shooting section in the desert.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to stay on the bottom right here, because if I go forward or left, the game will shut down.
And it's really bad. It's not like, oh, it drops like 1 frame. No, it's like ridiculously bad.
Yeah, if you see what I'm looking at right now, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
PS5 wins. Try to take it down. I tried. Okay, I still got the lag spike, but
Fighting air pirates, the great Hawkmungus commands it! Yes!
also worst thing is triggering the villain cutscene during the lag. Because then you can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, the cutscene was played super slow. The cutscene, of course, he'll actually come down and fight us in a bit, but that'll be after he's done barraging us with minions.
Oh,
It takes
no,
a while.
I think I just triggered the cutscene during the.
Oh no.
Well,
Yeah,
you'll
that's
see what I
it's a
mean.
little bit slow.
10 FPS. Let's go.
Alright, well, Chaos there got decapitated by his blade, but it's a cutscene, so it's perfectly fine. Alright, and...
There we go. Taekwon Pro is finished.
Hawkmungus.
Crow defeated.
Not Taekwon Crow. They're all the same,
See all the
okay?
lag. It's super great. Super great. I love
All the
lag.
lag. All the lag.
I really don't like lag. If you didn't realize this yet, I don't like lag.
I don't think anyone does. I don't think there's anyone who's like, yo, it's lagging, let's go! Unless like there's a lag clip or something in your game. Then, like, it's okay.
What are you idiots on?
But we don't have lag clip in here, because walls are very solid
Yeah,
in this game.
this is a smooth stream, alright?
Well, I say that walls are very solid in this game, and that's kind of a lie. They're not that solid in this game. Well, they're mostly solid. There's a lot of places that we can't go because of invisible walls, and there's actually a lot of skips that could theoretically be possible, but are not because of walls. More so in the other Skylanders games. But yeah. Speaking of, so yeah, so there we
Strat
go.
here,
Quick
and
Sickle Smash.
probably everyone is yelling at me in chat now, but I don't really want to go for it because it's a softball. And that would lose 2 minutes of the run, and we're already tight on time. So
Yeah, it's not, like, we've obviously lost, like, this run's been pretty decent outside, like, a couple of skips that have gone poorly. I mean, you got a lot of other tricks first. You got the, like, most of the Troll Rocket skip, Operation Troll Rocket still skips first try. You got the hard one in the Signal first try. So it's otherwise been
So
decent.
it's all good.
Yes.
Lowered the boom on you.
No games compete without explosions. Alright, now is for one of the most interesting villain fights. After this, of course. After we're done with these enemies, then we get an interesting villain fight.
I like how Sickle just T-posed there. You'll see it on your end soon. Did anyone see that? That was funny. Well, this game has all sorts of surprises.
Yes.
This game may be broken, but it's definitely not broken to the core, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And of course,
wow,
for every...
You guys like that Sickle dash? I think I triggered the cutscene just perfectly. So now I'm probably like out of bounds or... No, oh, never mind. I'm not out of bounds.
Alright, so Bone Chompy is an interesting villain fight, given the fact that they are literally the first enemy of Skylanders Giants. And like every other Chompy, they normally have 1 health.
So, my Skylanders had to reload, sadly. Probably because of how I did that trap skip. A little awkward, but we're back on track, gamers.
Bombs away.
Yeah. background noise.
And looks
Next
like that
map's a
guy's
little bit
stuck.
too big for.
Bye-bye. And here's an interesting skip. I mean, we're gonna have an auto-scroller. That's totally what I meant. Sorry.
Looks like another.
Yeah, we're gonna have a not skip.
We're gonna have a not skip. Definitely not.
And because of how the NPCs work, like, there's no way around this.
Come on, blast these zombie worms.
So I just wanted to know how is chat doing today? Is everyone enjoying the run? I want to know who's played Skylanders before. Dude, have you ever played Skylanders before?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, okay.
Cover me, Skylar.
This is the person I chose? Nah, I'm joking.
Dude, I've never seen this run before. I'm just learning it on the fly. Thanks, Tom.
Learning on the fly? What was that?
Blast these zombie.
Oh yeah, he's learning it on the fly because he's commentating for like run.
Yeah.
He didn't understand that, which I did.
Oh,
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm
I
about
was
to die.
obviously
What is going
I'm
on?
joking. Obviously. Never heard this game before. No, I've never heard this game before. Normally it's supposed to defeat that guy, but you don't need to if you don't want to.
Wait, no,
Although-
you're supposed to make it sarcastic. No, we died. This is so sad. Oh, I'm just gonna
No,
dash here and
dude.
trigger the.
I tried that with Threat Pack and then you messed it up, so I didn't go for it. I go for this one.
What? Oh, what about Threat Pack?
The one where I tried to go like this is the highest villain in the game, and then like you kill him in like 2 hits, but you missed him for like 5 seconds, so I had to weirdly delay.
And I just ruined your joke.
Sad. Yeah, Sage.
And then you ruined my joke. Epic. Alright.
Oh,
Anyway.
no problem. Alright, I guess actually, well, actually, I guess I'll explain that later, because there's another arena fight coming up. But now we have some hard skips, so more hood circle dashing to skip a large enemy encounter, and yeah. Also, a lot of movement. Basically,
Oh no,
your
that's
typical.
so close. Alright,
Ooh.
well, we can redo it. Don't worry. We have a backup. You just double jump up here. And you do the skips again. Bada bing, bada boom.
Childhood classic series. I think a lot of people say that is the case, which just makes you feel old and young at the same time. This
What
game
was
came
that?
out in 2014. This game is 6 years old.
6 years old, yep. Any 6-year-olds in chat? Don't reply to that. That was rhetorical.
Villains are stronger in this one.
Yes.
So yeah, now we have a bridge puzzle and I'm doing some skips here to speed it up. I'm gonna grab this wooden one because that's all we really need. That's the last one over there next to that super bounce pad. If you don't know what a super bounce pad is, it's the thing that looks like a beacon. Unlike Minecraft. I don't think so. It's this thing up here. And we only needed our wooden bridge because we can just go dash across the other two.
You can only put one bridge type with the correct bridge type. You can't have like bamboo on the steel bridge. Okay, so here is possibly the most interesting arena fight. If you thought that like killing enemies mindlessly again and again was interesting, then you wait until you see this. So essentially what we're doing is we're just unloading all the enemies by going in and out of the secret area, which you're not supposed to access. This is
Our
faster.
theory is that the room is so far away from the arena, so it just calls all the enemies out.
Yes. Alright, I guess I should quickly, I don't know if I'll be allowed to, but I'm going to do a quick promotion of the fact that we have a Skylanders Sky Factor, which is marathon relay coming up very soon. So that essentially means that we're going to have 2 teams of 6 who will be completing the entire franchise back to back to back in a race. And yeah, so if you want to check those out, it will be at Mega Ant's channel. Again, Mega Ant's done a lot for this game, and this is another thing that he's doing. He's organising this relay so we can see every game back to back to back. If you guys are interested, then I guess you can go check it out, or you can ask me and Don.
Royal Guard! Destroy
Alright,
the
phase 1 is
Skylanders!
finished.
1,000 gold pieces to
Again, this
whoever
is
takes
faster.
down the Skylanders.
Especially because the enemies now are getting a bit stronger, so we can't just insta-kill them. And also the arena layout makes it a bit more annoying.
sands you stand upon must submit to my
Big plug, dude. We gotta get the plugs in, because like we want people to expand this game. This is actually I think the second time this game has ever been run a marathon, and the time Skylanders has been run at a marathon ever. So yeah.
Royal Guards, destroy the Skylanders.
We're beginning the community expansion to make this a household name, like Super Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time. Kappa.
1,000 gold pieces to whoever takes down the Skylanders. 1,000 gold pieces to whoever takes down the Skylanders.
So now we have a boss fight, and I'm going to stop hitting the wall and entering the loading zone. So we have a boss fight, and this is Great Clobber. He is a mummy. Is that what they call it? Yep. He's a mummy, and what I'm looking for is him to do attacks. He does like a little slam with both of his hands. I'm looking for that because if he tries to slap me with one hand, I'll actually get pushed back. And yeah, that's what I was looking for. As you can see, he slapped with both hands there, and that's what I was not looking for. But thankfully I didn't get pushed back.
Grave Clobber.
Yeah, that's Grave Clobber. So now we're going back to hitting the wall in and out. And I hope you guys enjoy that, because we'll be doing that for the next minute.
Again, it is actually faster than killing the enemies. Or so I've been told.
1,000 gold pieces to whoever takes down the Skylanders. 1,000 gold pieces to whoever takes down the Skylanders.
Now what is that?
Royal Guards, destroy the Skylanders.
Yay.
Yup, we didn't soft lock. Yay, you can soft lock there, by the way. We're safe. Alright.
Nice. If we soft locked there, then like we probably would have got onto a new file, and we've already got into an old file and played the game from there, because there would be a huge time loss.
Yeah, that's like 10 minutes off. So
yeah, which obviously would not be good for estimate, so in order to keep it ongoing, we'd have to play a new file. But luckily we don't have to. Yeah. So now we get another long level, which is Lair of the Golden Queen. Golden Queen is the leader of the Doom Raiders, and so of course she's been chilling at her Egyptian pyramid / temple.
Here comes the head.
So now all this area, it only saves 40 seconds. It only saves 40 seconds.
It looks like it saves a lot more.
I didn't get everything despawned. You can get everything despawned here, and it will despawn the block puzzles, the coins, the breakable objects. There's an NPC right next to me that I'm just going to zoom by. And most importantly, these spotlights. If you enter these spotlights, they will take you backwards to another area of this area. So that would all be
the area of this area.
It's like a spy game if you ever played Secret Agent Clinch or something.
Yes. Basically just a stealth section, except of course we can go very fast because it's trapped in. And then we do a dash, a Sickle dash, which gets us just far enough into the gate to hit the trigger, and we can progress. Alright, so now we're on to another long boss fight. The game loves long boss fights. Although remember, this would have been to break up what would be normally pretty long levels. But of course the skips make it so that the level's not quite so long as they anticipate.
Chaos.
Oh, looks like my portal's not having its best day today. Might need a new portal, guys.
Bombs away!
Yeah, so I switched to Chaos here.
For the last time.
Chaos does a lot of damage, and we need that for boss fights.
Golden Queen.
You're going to make an even more impressive golden trophy than your little friend did.
And now I have Beta Chaos. Yeah. Perfect. What everyone wants, alright?
welcome to Beta 64. Well done.
My precious coin.
Oh, the best part about this boss fight is that you get a bathroom break. That depends how fast you are at doing the bathroom break, but you do get one. Fun. 100% speedrun win.
I mean, despite the fact that this is very entry level. At the end of the game, sorry, because it's actually the penultimate level.
Yeah, so after this boss fight, we'll only have one chapter left for the run. So stay tuned.
We're almost done.
We need the epic boss battle.
As you can see, gold has many uses. It's only a matter of time before I defeat you. Why delay the inevitable?
Alright, so here's where you take your bathroom break, and you just sit here.
Give up, Skylander. You're in over your
Yeah,
head.
that's it. Genius mechanics. Let's go.
She basically just does slamming. It's incredibly boring. Incredibly uninteresting.
So yeah, question for chat. If you were to speedrun a Skylanders game, which game?
Remember that Sprite Adventure, Giants, and Traptino are considered the most broken, whilst Blob Force, Superchargers, and Imaginators are considered not very broken at all.
Only a matter of time before
Yeah,
I
so
defeat
it's
you.
either glitchless or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Without preference, of course.
But speedrun drafting, because that's what we're figuring out. Oh, I should also mention...
Actually, I'd like to say quickly, in comparison, just to mention, of course, because Skylanders requires physical toys, that means that games that are particularly complex, games can require you to to spend a lot of money. Recently, Sprite Adventure had a huge wave of glitches that required, like, it added like another 6 Skylanders onto the roster, which if you didn't have any of them, that meant you're probably going to have to pay probably 50 to 100, probably like more than 50 bucks.
Yes, an emulator is not allowed.
The bigger they are,
We also didn't have any way to pay. Also, they corrupt your figures because of how how save states work.
So anyways, speaking of speedrun crafting, if you do want to learn this game, there is a guide that I have made. Or I should say, there is a guide on YouTube made by yours truly, which explains every chapter more in depth. Well, there's an asterisk to that, but...
I mean, watching the video is a good way to do it, but he'll explain everything you need to do and where you need to do it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, just watch
But again, the game is pretty hard to get into, but if you do get into it, it's pretty rewarding.
Okay, so here I'm actually going to switch to tech, because I can do the tech attack glitch, and that would speed this up a bit. Boom. Alright, so now we have to run. Make sure.
In a bit.
Alright, we gotta run. Yeah. Auto scroller baby. Alright. Here, I'm throwing my bombs into nothing. I don't know why, but I think if you throw the bombs into the screen, I mean, if you throw the bombs toward the screen, it would break open the debris earlier on in this auto scroller, but I'm actually not entirely sure.
I mean, that makes no sense. Either way,
Alright.
it saves you something to do while you just go forwards. Because she's there's like, unless you like really are slow, she's basically like incapable of hurting you.
Knocking down those pillars is the only way to stop her. Knock down the pillars.
Yeah, that is Golden Queen.
Golden Queen defeated.
And she's dead.
Lander, the pillars.
Alright.
If this were a world record pace run, we would be underestimate, so that's a hooray. Yeah.
I mean, I think we still are barely underestimate.
Barely underestimate.
Hey, this is kind of...
Pretty sure world record for this chapter is 11 minutes and 3 seconds real time, so...
Oof. Yeah.
Let's just
World
hope
record
we don't
is
mess
World record is 203, by the way.
Oh no, I already messed something up. Forgot to put Sickle in the trap.
Put Sickle.
Yeah, Bangera.
Yeah.
Shouts to Bangera, by the way. They already said that.
Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah. Anyway. So now Chaos, like, as you may expect, Chaos has betrayed us, and now he is evil, and is also harnessing the power of Traptanium. Traptanium being the resource that is basically the mythical resource in this game.
So
which
here I'm
essentially
going to do a cutscene skip where I just jump around the corner there, and now I have to solve the light puzzle because just how the level loads things in.
Yeah.
The light puzzle coming up here won't be spawned in if I had not done this first light puzzle.
And it is actually possible to skip it. As you can see here, we're just gonna... Well, we were gonna try and get over
do a Sickle dash across to the next area. And sadly, I did not make the cycle for this laser puzzle. I don't really want to explain how the laser puzzle works, but I really don't know how.
It's fair.
But,
I mean, it's generally quite simple. There's just a beam. There's just a pulse that's going back and forwards. Sometimes they get reflected, sometimes they absorb, sometimes they change their direction. Doesn't matter. But they just go back and forth. So if you're fast enough, or if you get a certain speed, then you can. It'll be in a place where you can easily reflect it without having to wait for it to go all the way. But it's not too much of an issue.
So here we rode that Ferris wheel, and now we're going to double jump over the long puzzle. And no, and for anyone who thinks this, no, Blastermine Soul Gem is not fast. He is actually the slowest way to do the lock puzzle. I think. Maybe. Either it's doing the lock puzzle or using Blastermine, which are the slowest.
It's probably doing the lock puzzle followed by, and also you need to switch. And you know that has a long as you've seen plenty of times before, they have long animations associated with them.
Unless you play on PS5, maybe.
No, I think even then, like they still have lines to say. They still have like a cry of some kind that they say. So it's not like that would matter. There's no loading involved in it. Well, there's barely any loading involved in it. It's just you like the screen.
So here I'm going to do a Sickle dash across to skip this fight, and do a small double jump up here, just to save a time on movement. Oh, I almost jumped into that. Okay then. Here I'm gonna jump off the left side of the wall here and skip a cutscene.
Yep, cutscene skip.
And double jump up here, do a Sickle dash over here. And this is just skipping regular old movement, by the way.
And
now
puzzles.
here's time for the Ferris wheel auto-rolling, which I hope you guys love. I sure don't.
I don't think anyone does.
Let's make the cycle. Okay, we made it. Alright, we're good. The run's still going strong. We're hopefully underestimated, I think.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it will be. The chaos fight won't take a massive amount of time, so it looks like it'll be fine. Alright, and now it was time for the final boss fight in the game, the chaos fight. So every game...
Do chaos versus chaos. Let's go.
Yeah! Anyways, yeah, of course, like you may expect, every game in the franchise, the chaos fight gets more and more elaborate each time. Is the first game, it was basically just chaos in a flying machine. In Giants, he got this ginormous Archean robot, which I actually did see in chapter 12. Well, is it chapter 12? Yeah, chapter 12. Not chapter 12, sorry, chapter 13.
He becomes a crystal giant, and then...
He becomes a crystal, he swallows you, puts him into his brain and stuff. It's pretty elaborate.
He becomes a crystal giant with wings, and he's Herobrine.
This is actually an incredibly accurate representation of what the Chaos Trap looks like. Because of course the Chaos Trap is a real toy that you have to buy, and it basically looks like this. It's sort of like, of course Chaos is like himself is slightly different to account for the fact that, Chaos account for the fact that he is a character in this game and still animated, but the toy essentially looks like this. His giant heads and his collar, along with the bottom.
So, there's no actual, like, there's no actual way to speed this boss up except to just attack the guy. Oh, yeah. There is a thing you could use here to speed it up. If I switch here, I should be able to do it, and I did. Almost. Oh no. I screwed it up. Okay, we're probably gonna be behind estimate. My fault, guys.
Yeah, we'll be here a while.
Yeah. Thank you. Alright, we're back. Maybe that's the way to, like, stop the blow. Should we do that? Yeah, these elemental bullets. Oh, do I have to do this again? Oh, well, okay then.
We're not gonna be behind estimate. We'll be fine. It's just gonna take a little bit longer.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Don't worry.
By the way, I just want to quickly mention that that Chaos in this game, he's not targeting Skylanders, he's targeting the Portal Master, aka you, the Portal Master, because you have the portal. So he's targeting you, and that's why he pulled out a bunch. That's why he tried to reach into the screen and he pulled out a bunch of real-world items. It's because he's supposed to be taking your stuff.
If I get stuck between those sharks, it slows down my game.
Yeah.
Just because of how the sharks. That's the same as Spyro's Adventure. It's just a limit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I have to dodge them.
I don't know if I don't think they restore health like they do though in Spyro's Adventure. Yeah, didn't you said the S was like 230 or something? I thought you said it was like 210, but apparently said it's 230. These attacks only hurt one element, which I don't know why he bothers with this, or why he doesn't automatically select the one that you are, but it doesn't matter.
I think Chaos's element is like Nightmare mode, so you won't see a Chaos bullet now, but if you play on Nightmare mode, which I wish you good luck if you try, then you could see the Chaos bullet.
Now he's regenerating his health to go into his next phase, which is even cooler. Also, you'll notice that he's actually doing extra damage as a villain. For some reason, in this game, in this fight, there's actually a stronger for villains, but it doesn't tell you. It's like secret villain, strong. But if I'm explaining obvious things that are related to the cutscene just because I can't actually hear game audio, because otherwise I'd have weird double audio. I just thought of that when explaining how the story, how this fight works, or how this about this fight.
So this is probably the quickest phase of the Chaos boss fight, just the second one. And yeah, now he's already at his third, so...
That's quick.
Alright, we have 3 minutes. Let's do it, guys. I think we can do it.
We got this. This is the last phase, I'm pretty sure.
Don't worry.
Unless I'm forgetting a phase, I'm pretty sure it's the last one, so...
Excuse me, I have to go shut my door.
There's nothing else to do, because it's an scroller.
Yes, very, very cringe moment, but, for the quality of the stream.
Yes.
And yes, this rest of the boss fight is just, chaos is chaos. Most epic moments in Speedrun.
Yes. That's why I like the gimmicks of this game, is you can do stupid things like this.
Ever done Chomping Mage versus Chomping Mage? Pretty epic.
Well, that goes for any villain in this game.
So yeah, the gimmick for this phase is that he has wings now, and
doing a lot of damage,
people start
and by a lot of
blasting
damage.
us.
Of course, that's not an issue because villains in this game don't have health; they have time, and Chaos can restore his own time, so it's basically impossible to die.
Yeah, so this boss fight's super easy to cheat, which is good for us. And if you know classical music, the song that plays during the boss fight is Chaos' theme with the remix of Night on Bald Mountain, and yes, that's what it's called. Must be a Russian thing.
Alright.
Hey, if anyone's from Russia, I'm free to learn if there's actually a Russian, if there's actually a mountain in Russia named Bald Mountain.
I mean, that's assuming it's Russian, of course, it might not be. I don't know what we're going on about, but he's almost dead, and he's not going to have another phase, so yeah, we're coming up on time now. That's good.
And yeah, that's
end of the run.
That's
there we go.
Alright, now I'm gonna take out the trap, and that will be
Chaos
it for
defeated.
this. Bada bing, bada boom, and that is time. 2:09:42. We're underestimate, yeah.
That was not too bad. Again, it was like there was just a few skips that took a while, but that was otherwise pretty decent.
So yeah, I guess now we
like the little
do our outros.
Yep.
I'm Donatello the Donkey. You can find me on twitch.tv/Donatello the Donkey. And I also have a YouTube channel, so go follow.
Cool thing.
And
Yep.
Dragon, go follow him as well. He also has a YouTube channel.
Of course you are.
And there's a video playlist guide for this game as well. And
Do you want to get into it?
there's a speedrun Discord. And yeah, that's Skylanders Chapter.
Speedrun Discord extends to every Skylanders game, by the way, including the 3DS ones, which are a completely different thing. But yeah, and that's Skylanders Chapter. There we go.
Enjoy the next run.
Yep.